Hello, and welcome to Business with Smith Co. Hello, and welcome back to Business with Smith Co. Today, we're going to be talking about the impact of changing from job to batch production. So, the investment required. So, batch production generally involves more automation. So a large capital investment may be required to sort of set up the production process. The business would then benefit from lower wage levels as it requires less skilled staff. But it may have to pay out for redundancies to current highly skilled staff whom it no longer requires. Obviously this is a bit of a problem because, well, sometimes just because you can go down the less skilled area, less good product area, doesn't mean you should. Just morally speaking, and just because customers may, what I'm saying is customers' happiness and then customers' drive to buy your product. For example, customers may still buy your product if it's bad, and customers may still buy your product if you could improve the quality, but don't. But the actual making your customers happy, like actually happy, that doesn't necessarily mean, I don't mean the happiness is in, oh, they'll buy more of your products or they'll buy another product. I mean they're actually truly happy. They're not like, oh, it's broken again, I have to buy a new one. Because that makes you money. That's all well and good. That's money for you. And that is a problem. Because while that may make you money, will that make customers happy? And next, of course, you've got the loss of USP. A business might set itself apart from its competitors because it has custom orders and unique products it makes for its customers. If it starts to sell batched production or mass-produced goods, for example, it could lose that advantage and it might lose sales and customer loyalty because of the less personalised and lower quality goods. The stock control you have here is also another problem because the business might be used to creating goods as orders come in for customers. If it switches to batch or mass production, it will need to have much more storage space for the extra goods produced. For example, the computer this is done is like, its storage is pretty small, so it's like all the time, your storage is full. Which can cause problems when you have video and it's like, oh, you're trying to save it. No, it didn't save because the storage was too low. So bye to that video. That kind of thing does happen. So you have to make sure that you have storage space and you have to make sure that for the extra goods that have been produced. If it overstocks, some goods might become obsolete or lose value if they're not sold. And it will result in higher storage and insurance costs because the company is holding additional stock on its premises or elsewhere. If they're using the company will try to charge them. They will charge them more. Then they may need to reduce prices because, well, if a business if a business changes its pricing strategy, as a premium strategy, for example, it might not work when selling batch produced or mass produced goods. It may need to sell at a much lower price than its competitors to build up a good market share. Then you have lower profit margins. As a business will plan to sell more products at a lower price than before, its gross and net profits margins may fall. Overall profits may rise from the increase in sales, but profit per item sold may actually reduce. Which is the thing that happens. And that's something you need to be, aware of, That is the kind of thing you get when you're changing from job to batch or mass. But what happens when you're changing from batch to mass? Well, there are fewer options for consumers. A business using mass production might now only produce one standardized product rather than offering the variety of different kind of things. For example, this YouTube channel has multiple types of videos. We have videos on history, business, I think we have one on maths. That's only one though, because maths is a hard kind of one to do because it's like because it's very particular to the question. You know, it's all well and good to show people examples, but you need to be really kind of explaining it in detail, because otherwise it's not really of any help. So we only kind of have I think we only have one on maths now, and you know, we've also got general facts and lots of things. You know, and we also got, I think we got one React video and all these sort of things. Loads of different things available on the channel. So, you know, we're not down that route anyway. Anyway, so the USP for a good becomes a low price. If a business can't sufficiently lower its selling price when switching to mass production, it might not survive, because without additional features of choice for consumers, it needs to be able to stand out as a leader in price to compete with other offerings. And does a larger market even exist? Because it may seem like a good thing to be able to afford to have mass, to be able to have that, to be able to say, oh, we've got the investors, we can get an investor to get us to mass, you know. But do you need to? Because a business will produce more of the product when changing to mass production. Therefore, it really does need to carry out market research to make sure positively that there is enough potential customers to meet the increased quantity produced. Because it's all well and good when you're in batch or in job, you're like, there are people who view these videos. It's around like maybe like the average I think is around 0 point something views. Most videos on this channel have 0 views. That's sort of the point. Because if you want to say, oh, we have enough money, we have enough backing to be able to do this, but is there any purpose to it? Because can you really say, are the customers there to buy that? Just because you're able to buy that machinery, does that mean that you need it? And if you don't, well, that can cause problems. There is also a major amount of capital investment required. Setting up production lines requires a large initial investment. The business will need to purchase brand new machinery, well, not necessarily brand new, but new machinery. You know, it could be second hand. You know, we tend to get a lot of second hand stuff because, you know, it's cheaper. But this is because mass production is usually highly automated. It will also be faced with higher maintenance costs for machines, because keep in mind, this is not cheap to run these machines. These machines cost a fortune, and if they break, they may need a significant amount of, you know, costs. And if you just change to job, if you just change to mass, you might find a major cost if, you know, it breaks very quickly. Suddenly your machines are out of work and you're making no money, and you suddenly need to pay a high bill. This bill can run into thousands, keep in mind. They may need to offer redundancy payments to existing staff who are no longer required as their jobs have been replaced by machinery, which can be a problem, because while it may make the product cheaper to consumers, to staff, that is a real problem. Because some staff will now be surplus requirements, this might cause industrial disputes because of low morale, remaining staff who might become bored or, you know, just overworked, as they may have more repetitive tasks than they had to do when they were batch production. The business may become less diversified. The change might be risky for a business which might now be selling less variety and more standardized products. It might be less flexible when responding to changing market needs, and it would have been with machinery and staff it had before. The brand image may be impacted. A business might be seen as a low cost or cheaper brand when selling mass produced goods at lower prices. This may affect sales of different products it offers that are not mass produced, as the brand is now associated with mass production. Furthermore, they may lose, well, obviously we talked about this in the previous kind of impacts, but they may lose this idea. So while they may be able to gain customers who want low priced goods, those products may not suit people who want low priced goods. You know, they may, because if they're just sort of needlessly, if they've got add-on expenses which are needless, that don't need to be there, you know, while they have reduced in price, sometimes that can cause problems, because if people don't want that, if people don't want certain things, they'd be thinking, well, can't you just remove this thing, because I don't really want that. That feature is not something I want, and that feature is apparently adding around a good bit of money to this, so good chunk of money. Yes, so maybe if you just remove all that, then that'd be good. But unfortunately, that's not what your old customers want. So if one of your old customers stick with you, then sometimes that causes problems. Anyway, thank you for listening to the video, or listening to the thing. Anyway, in the next video, we'll be talking about a business plan. So, join us then. Thank you for listening to this. Please watch other videos and audio stuff if you want to, and subscribe to the YouTube channel also if you want to. It helps out. I mean, it does. Not because of us. Just that's just how apparently the world works now. Thank you for listening, and join us next time. Bye.